Good morning. Welcome to this video lecture on the subject corporate administration, and the topic is kinds of company and one person company, which is a subtopic of the first chapter, Introduction to Company. This is Chand Pasha, working as assistant professor, Department of Commerce, Government First Grade College, Hoskote. Dear friends, in my earlier video lecture class, we have seen introduction to the company, formation of company. Under that formation of company, part 1 and part 2 we have seen. In today's video class, we shall be learning about the kinds of company, and we will also be covering one person company. Now to start with, kinds of company are being divided on the basis of some formation, on the basis of number, on the basis of size. So let's start with the first one. On the basis of formation, that is on the basis of incorporation and registration, companies are divided into three, that is chartered company, statutory company, and registered company. Second category, on the basis of number of members and size, we have public company and private company. Under private company, further we have small company and one person company. Third category, that is on the basis of liability of member. Here we can divide a company as a company limited by guarantee, a company limited by shares, and unlimited company. Fourth category, on the basis of control, we have holding company, subsidiary company, associate company. On the basis of ownership, we have government company and non-government company. Other types of company, we have foreign company, global company, body corporate, listed companies, and dormant companies. Dear friends, each of the type of company we shall be discussing separately, because public company is one subheading, private company is a separate heading. Similarly, company limited by shares, limited by guarantee, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, each of these companies can be discussed in detail in my coming classes. In this class, I'm just giving the bird eye view of overall types of companies. That is how many types of companies we have and how these companies have been classified on what basis. We can have a glance one more time. On the basis of formation, that is on the basis of incorporation, we have three companies: chartered, statutory, and registered company. Then on the basis of member and size, we have public company and private companies. Then we have on the basis of liability of members, we have three divisions, that is company limited by guarantee, limited by shares, unlimited companies. On the basis of control, we have holding, subsidiary, and associate, ownership basis, and other types of companies. Then let us discuss the first part, on the basis of formation or incorporation: chartered company, statutory company, and registered company. Let us first discuss what is chartered company. See, these are the companies which were formed during the times of kings and queens, that is during the times of kingdom. This type of companies do not exist now because we don't have any more kingdoms. Best example is East India Company. The next type of company is statutory company. These are those companies which are formed by passing the special act in the parliament. I repeat, statutory companies are those companies which are passed or which are been incorporated by passing the act in the parliament. Example of one such company is Indian Railways. Indian Railway is a company which has been incorporated by the act of parliament. Then we have registered company. Apart from the first two company, whatever classification we have seen, all the classification of these companies are required to be registered under the Companies Act of 2013. So any company which is being registered under the Companies Act of 2013, it will be known as registered companies. Let's move on to the next one person company. If you remember, when we're discussing the highlights of Companies Act 2013, I told you in the Companies Act 2013, a new type of company has come into the picture, that is called one person company. So the 2013 Act has introduced a new type of entity to the existing list. Apart from forming a public or a private limited companies, 2013 Act enables formation of a new entity called one person company. The name itself suggests you one person company. We call shortly as OPC company. OPC means with only one person as its member, you can start the company as per section 3 subsection 1 of 2013 Act. That is, one person company means with only one member you can start up the company. When compared to the private companies, private company formation required minimum of 2 members, but here in case of one person company, just one person is enough to start a company. That is, that one person is going to be the member. Let us discuss now what are the characteristics of this OPC. Single or one shareholder. As the definition says, OPC means with only one person. One person as its member means that one person member is one shareholder. Then we have single owner. Yes, it is not a sole trading. Do not get confused with the sole trading. To replace sole trading only, it has been introduced. There is one person company. So it is a single ownership control, separate legal entity, and this succession also. There is perpetual succession, because as per the 2013 Act, it is very compulsory and important that the OPC should have a nominee. In case of death of a person, nominee will continue the business. Then less compliance, mean to say the other type of companies, they have to follow lot of legal requirements, but formation of one person company, there's no much formalities, there's no much difficulties, there's no much rules and regulation. Just with the share capital of 1 lakh rupees, you can start up this OPC. And Indian resident. Another important feature of OPC is only an Indian resident can open the company called one person company. Indian resident means the person who has stayed in India for 182 days or more, or as per the income tax law. So we come to know what is the resident. So any person who want to open OPC, he should be an Indian resident. The next feature is secure personal wealth. Since the shareholder is one, member is one, so there is no distribution of the wealth going out. So it is a secure personal wealth. Last, the word one person company must be mentioned in the bracket below the name of the company. Like how we have a private company and public company. For the private company, the word private limited is used. Similarly, for a public company, limited company is used. Likewise, for one person company, we have to mention one person company in bracket below the name of the company. So these are the few characteristics of OPC. So to sum up, we have discussed different kinds of companies and its classification. Then we also discuss one person company. That's all I have in this video. Thank you for watching.